This video is part of the series. Those famous videos of astronauts floating in space look fun and weightless, but zero gravity does something strange inside their bodies too. In microgravity, about 2 liters of fluid shift from the legs upward, making faces swell and legs slim down. Astronauts call it puffy head, bird legs, feeling a bit like having a constant head cold, congestion, pressure, even a reduced sense of smell. But MRIs reveal something more serious. Extra fluid pressing around the brain, with ventricles stretching and taking years to return to normal. Space agencies monitor this closely. While the effects usually ease after 6 months and don't seem to harm thinking ability, the real concern is long missions, ones far longer than a year on the ISS. What might happen to the human brain after years in deep space? That's still an open question. So the next time you see an astronaut grinning in zero-G, remember, their bodies are quietly battling space itself. Would you take that risk for the chance to explore the stars? I'm the host and you're watching this channel. When people experience weightlessness, they often look like they have a permanent goofy grin plastered on their face. This is partly because zero-G makes some parts of your body swell up and others slim down. Your heart doesn't have to work as hard to pump blood around your body anymore, so it feels lighter. Meanwhile, the fluid that was helping support your legs while you were standing returns to your bloodstream and gets redistributed all over your body, including your face. And since your circulatory system is now working against gravity rather than with it, blood can pool around your eyes and make them puffy. On top of that, the muscles in your face and neck start wasting away due to lack of use. Altogether, it can be pretty disorienting, like looking at yourself in the funhouse mirror. But there's something else going on too. Your brain is actually fighting back against these changes. To understand how, let's look at what happens when you stand up. The muscles in your legs push against the ground and help propel you upward. But that also puts pressure against the blood vessels in your brain, which then reduces the amount of blood flow there. And the brainstem, which connects your brain to the rest of your body, senses this change and starts pushing down harder on a part of your brain called the cerebellum, which makes fluid drain out of the ventricles and into the tissues of your brain, giving it a bit of extra support. So while you're standing, your brain is softer overall. In space, though, it's quite the opposite. Without the force of gravity, blood flows more freely to your brain, but that means the brainstem doesn't push down as hard on the cerebellum, so fluid starts to pool in the ventricles instead. Normally, that's not a problem. You just get a bit of a headache. But stay in space too long and the pressure from that extra fluid can become dangerous, compressing the nerves where the brainstem meets the spinal cord and slowing or blocking signals to and from the brain. And that's not just based on theory. We can actually see it happening on MRI scans of astronauts' brains. In scans taken on their first day in space, the ventricles already appear larger than normal. Then, after 3 months in space, they're even bigger, before slowly returning to normal over the next 3 months after they come home. Now, the good news is that we know of no long-term ill effects from this kind of fluid shift. The thinking abilities of astronauts do not appear to be harmed by spending months in zero-G, at least not permanently. But it's still something that space agencies are keeping a close eye on, especially with plans for longer space missions in the works, such as NASA's plans to send astronauts to Mars. Fluid shifts may not be the biggest danger to astronauts' brains. For example, cosmic rays can damage DNA and have been linked to cancer and cognitive decline. So figuring out how the human brain adapts to life in space is critical if we want to keep sending people farther and farther out into the solar system. Because unlike our bodies, which can somewhat protect themselves against cosmic rays with, say, a tan, our brains can't really defend themselves. They're kind of defenseless, so it's up to us to figure out what we can do to protect those poor defenseless brains. If you liked this video, check out the series. And thanks for watching.